I've been playing video games for over 30 years, and while I consider myself to be pretty good, but not great at games, I sometimes still struggle with some of the harder genres, Souls-likes, precision platformers, and even sometimes run-and-gun type games. And even though I am not anywhere near the middle ranks of other players for those genres, I keep pushing myself ahead when I'm having fun. Yes, it's okay to suck at games. Yes, it's okay to play on easy mode, and of course, it is okay to give up on a game if you feel like you're not having any fun. That doesn't make you any less of a gamer than anyone else, and it's important to resist the notion that you're anything but. For today's review, I am going to briefly talk about the deliciously brutal run-and-gun arcade shooter Iron Meat, in which I'll be giving a rundown of everything this game has to offer and what I feel like it is missing, hopefully giving you a better idea if this game will scratch the nostalgia itch that many other gamers are craving these days. While the game may take strong inspiration from the classic Contra formula, I feel like it stands enough on its own that it doesn't need to necessarily be defined by a series that largely remains in the past, aside from a few modern releases. Do I believe that this game can stand up on its own merits? Absolutely, but at the same time, it's important to recognize the importance of the foundation that the classics have set up since the 1980s. With all that being said, hi, my name is 10, and welcome to the letter 10. Let's go. Back in May of 2022, I posted a demo playthrough of Iron Meat, a game developed by Ivan Suvorov and published by the amazing publisher RetroWave, and back then I could feel that at its core it felt very much like the same game I played today. And then again when I played a version of the game back in 2023 at Super MagFest, it felt like I was playing it again for the first time. By playing the game at those earlier points in its life, I could tell that this game was due for greatness. And I was right. This game is wildly fun, but if I was given only one chance and one word to describe this game, it would be brutal. There are several reasons why I chose that word to describe Iron Meat, and yes, it might be for the reason you might be thinking of, but I would say that the word can mean different things in relation to what I've spent several hours playing. When I say this game is brutal, I am talking about the way it is designed both gameplay-wise and artistically. If you've only ever played a run-and-gun shooter once in your life, you should have a pretty good idea of what to expect, as this game really sticks to those old-school roots. You're moving in one direction, probably holding down the shoot button as you take on the onslaught of enemies and other hazards, jumping up and down on platforms looking for extra points and power-ups, while all at the same time trying not to repeatedly die. Before I get into talking about my love for how beautifully grotesque the art style in this game is, I want to delve a little bit deeper on the difficulty curves and the balancing of this game. There are 3 modes of gameplay once you select your character skins and stage to play: easy, normal, and hard, and those are as aptly descriptive as they should be. Easy gives you 30 lives per stage, normal gives you 16, and hard gives you 8. The harder the difficulty you choose, there will be more enemies than before, and the existing enemies that were already there can have additional or faster attacks that can cause more damage. So you can definitely expect a more hectic run than, say, if you run the game just on easy mode. The plus side to all these extra enemies is that you can accrue more points a lot faster and end up with a higher score at the end of each level, making it quicker to unlock the many character skins and cosmetics that this game has available. If I had one critique about the game's balancing, is that some of the difficulties vary. Some of the earlier stages seem harder than some of the later stages. Same applies for the bosses, so some of the early bosses feel harder than the later bosses. I can understand that balancing is not always something that's easy to do, and I can chalk it up to how unique some of the boss attack patterns in different phases are. I'm not saying it alternates between hard and then easy and then hard and so forth, but the difficulty spikes and dips can feel a bit jarring. I know game development is hard and usually underappreciated, but I would have preferred if the game had an even ramp up with difficulty. Start easier, introduce what this game is all about, and then get progressively harder as the game goes along. I also wish it was possible to aim the weapon independently at an angle, facing up without having to move at the same time. But this is such a minor complaint I have that I don't feel like it takes any of the fun away from playing this game. The other brutal thing I mentioned earlier was the fantastically designed backgrounds and the rest of the art that's presented in Iron Meat. They're so good. While the first couple of stages are your standard fare of run and gun platforming action stages, you know, jungle, tower, you'll quickly notice how things are getting bloodier and gorier as you progress through the game. It's just dripping and oozing with visceral detail. The use of parallax on some of the stages is amazingly impressive, with what seems like 4 or more layers of motion at the same time. I know that other games have done this and will do this, but regardless of how this has been done in the past, the designers of this game really put in a lot of effort into this, and it's an absolute gem. Accompanied by 2 different soundtracks, which by the way really fits the theme and goes super hard at points, I couldn't have asked for a better package. This game is just absolutely remarkable. While this game can technically be beaten in an hour's time, which is approximately how long it took me to do one full run of the game without a game over screen, the options on difficulties and cosmetics leave a lot of replayability for players to go back time and time again. Plus, once you clear a stage, you'll be able to select that stage again at any time from the main menu, allowing you to practice stages over and over again, which is exactly what I've been doing. Yes, I died a lot in this game, but I never felt like this game was unfair or unfun. Kudos to the entire team behind Iron Meat's development for making it an enjoyable experience. Iron Meat is available on all platforms for the price of $19.99. Check it out. I want to thank you so much for checking out this review of Iron Meat. I am still having an incredible time playing this game, grinding on experience points, and unlocking all the other cosmetics that I didn't have time to unlock before recording this video. I have probably died hundreds of times while making this video, and if you liked what you've seen today and are an indie game fan, please feel free to leave a comment telling me what your favorite indie game is. I'd definitely like to check it out. Also, if you haven't already, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel to keep up with all future videos I post here. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope to see you soon. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.